My name is Matt Hurley. I will be your host tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming out to the Port Comedy Club. Clap it up if it's your very first time at this club. That's too many of you. I need to do more marketing. Okay, now clap it up if you're like been here the whole time, been here the whole 10 months. Clap it up if you've been here a long time. Okay, hell yeah. My repeat customers is great. Please come back. Just please come back. That's what my host said. Okay, so when this club first opened, it was BYOB. You were here when it was BYOB? Yes, it was. It was pretty lit when it was BYOB, right? Yeah, it was lit because it was illegal. That's why it was such a good fucking time, you know? All right. Hey, listen, I tried to do my due diligence, okay? I called the liquor board. They said, BYOB, call the health department. I called the health department. They said, BYOB, call the liquor board. So I thought I was good up until December, the day before our first ever sold out show at the club. It was like an hour after the show had ended. Me and some comics were sitting by the piano, and literally a 10-person bulletproof vest wearing SWAT team rolled in here. Terrifying, except they were from all the different departments. So there was someone wearing a bulletproof vest that said health department. I was like, this is what's wrong with America. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was the Wild West back in those days, for real. Like on Sundays, we had a show that a guy that worked with Kevin Hart produced the show. Now his show was dope because his tickets came with some fruit-infused Hennessy. Yeah, it's dope. Illegal. But then after the show, there'd be these solo cups with like a little bit of Hennessy in them and these flies going in and out of the cups, and I witnessed some magical shit. Like, you guys aware of the process of a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly? Bunch of learned doctors. I knew I loved you guys already. These flies were going in the Hennessy as flies and coming out as fly. It's a 3-6 Mafia joke for those over the age of 45. Let's go! Hell yeah. We are starting to move a couple tickets at this club, so people are asking me for group rates. Like, I got a guy coming this weekend. It's his birthday, and he wants to bring 20 people to the show. So we called the club and said, hey man, I want to bring 20 people. Do you have a group rate? And I said, I'm sorry, sir, I don't have a group rate, but I have a gag rate, so I'll suck your dick if you buy 20 tickets. You buy 30 tickets, I will do a naked cannonball into the harbor, baby! Hell yeah. Oh, man. You guys are so fun so far. All right, let's bring the mood down. I am Him's like, no! I am an unlucky guy, very unlucky. I've been hit by a bus in my life 3 times. I've been hit by 3 different buses in 3 different states. Every state I've lived in, I've been hit by a bus in that state. I'm never moving again. Maryland is the state for me for life, okay? No, this is a real story. The last time I got hit by a bus, it was in Baltimore, and I got hit by the Charm City Circulator. Yeah, 3rd time's a charm. That was good. Right off the old dome there, hell yeah. Now, for those of you that have never been hit by a bus before, when you get hit by a bus, you're ready to be pissed, you're ready to be upset. But I looked up and I saw it was the Charm City Circulator, and they have a massive, massive Facebook page. And they've been liking and sharing my shit. So I popped up and I walked that shit up like, I'm good, and then fainted, woke up in a hospital bed. Now, when you get hit by a bus for the first time and you wake up in a hospital bed, you wake up to doctors, family, concerned faces. When you've been hit by a bus for the 3rd time, you wake up to fucking cops. Cops, that's right, 2 mustachioed men. They opened up folding chairs, slid it right to my bedside and said, so, are you attracted to buses or something? And I was like, you nailed it, officer, I'm a metrosexual. It's a long way to go from metrosexual. We got there. All right, hell yeah. All right, anyone have kids in here? Clap it up if you have kids. Right here, front row. Date night? Date night. Yes. Good choice on a Sunday. Not a great decision. All right, so you can attest this. Little kids are like brutally honest sometimes, right? Yeah. Yeah. I don't have kids myself, but I experienced this recently. I was at Cross Street Market the other day. Now, Cross Street Market is a place in Federal Hill that has a lot of businesses inside of it, and one of them is a bar. So I was having a beer with a buddy, sitting on a bar stool, and from behind me I felt tap, 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 right on my lower back. I turned around, it was a little girl and her grandmother. The little girl just looked at me and said, excuse me, sir, your booty crack's out right now. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's embarrassing. And that wasn't the worst part. Then she said, and my grandma thinks it looks weird. My grandma thinks her booty crack looks like Vermont. Guys, how can a booty crack look like Vermont? But then I looked at her grandma and she looked like Bernie Sanders. I was like, this makes more sense now. I don't have much time with you all, so let's get right to it. 7th grade. Social sciences class. I had an assignment where I had to write a letter on an issue that concerned me, and I had to mail it to both the senators in my state. I was living in Illinois at the time. I wrote a letter on gun control. I mailed it to Republican Senator Robert A. Block and Democratic Senator, maybe you've heard of him, Barack Obama. Ooh, indeed, because Barack Obama became president because he was on top of the ball. 2 weeks later, he mails me back. He signs it himself. The White Sox had just won the World Series. He wrote PS Go White Sox and that shit. It meant the world to me. I still have this letter today. The Republican senator just sent me back a gun. So take that Second Amendment pretty seriously. But I know you're sitting there with bated breath saying, well, did he send you anything? He didn't send me a letter. He sent me a haiku. It said, what's up, Matt? This is Robert A. Block. Attached to this letter is a motherfucking Glock. Applause break, you heard it. One clap. All right. I own this little tiny comedy club, and that's a cool thing. Like, you know, a lot of clubs, they're just owned by business people, but I'm a comic myself. And clap it up for Kwame, the door guy right over there. Young comic himself, 3rd day on the job. And that's a cool thing about a comedy club that's run by comics. You know, everything we do is comedy. So yes, our profits are a joke too. Boom, hell yeah, I knew that would work again. All right. But I did, you know, I had a job before I just decided to do this. So we're family in here at this point. So I want you guys to start guessing right now what you think my job was before I was doing comedy full-time. Go.
Bus driver.
Bus driver, fuck you, dude. Fucking get this guy out of here. Addicted. Oh, fucking. I got nothing, I should just end on that. I'm kidding, I'm not. Kind of closer, yeah, it was sales, no, incorrect. Bam. All right, yeah, I was an analytical chemist at Johns Hopkins. Thank you, Evan, for not ruining that. Evan's the man. All right. This is my dad in the front row right here. Dad, pops, so I was a chemist at Johns Hopkins, and I worked in a lab that studied how drugs affect the brain, and we did this with rats. So we give the rats some marijuana, give the rats some coke, give the rats some methamphetamine, put them in a box, come back 2 hours later, write down some observations. I gave the rats the marijuana. I came back 2 hours later. Guys, these rats were making cold cut sandwiches. I said, where'd you get the little refrigerator from? The countertop, the butter knife, or that fucking mayo? What the hell? And then I gave them the Coke. But you guys, I forgot to start that timer. I came back 8 seconds later, and these rats had already started a podcast. Yeah. They were doing their first ad read. They're like, this podcast is sponsored by people who don't throw out their trash every week because that's how us rats live. It's just funny to think of rats in headphones. And then I gave him the meth. My man right here. What do you think happened when I gave the rats the meth? He's like, oh, it's been so long since I've done meth. No, they were all just wearing West Virginia football jerseys. I'm sorry, my bad. You're cool. All right, that's awesome. Anyone own a small business in here? Any small business owners in the room? Right here, front row. Oh my gosh, I planted these people here. Parents, small business owners, power couple. Let's go. What is your small business?
Dog daycare.
Oh shit. Okay, that's awesome. So, in like your mind, what is like the #1 most important thing about owning a small business? Like, if you're gonna give some advice for someone looking for some advice.
We really network with our community to open our business.
Okay.
Really helps,
like promotion, right?
Yeah.
Promotion, absolutely.
You're starting out, you need to come first year, you're going to be broke.
Right, and you nailed it. We are under a year old. Please tip after the show. Okay. So promotion. Promotion is the most important shit, I think, also, when running a small business. And the way I promote this club is there's this farmer's market that's out here every Saturday. And I have the smallest stand at the farmer's market. And I try to move tickets at that shit. And 2 weeks ago, a couple ladies walked up to me and said, hey, it is so cool that you have a small business because we just opened a small business right around the corner. And as small businesses, we need to stick together. And I was like, bet, lady, what's your small business? And she said, Patagonia. Guys, Patagonia is not a small fucking business. Fuck no. That'd be like me me saying, I'm opening this Italian restaurant. It's called Olive Garden. Okay. All right, let's get personal. Anyone have an embarrassing college memory here? Your friends all looked at you? No, kidding. They didn't. You guys don't even know each other. All right. I will go first. Okay. Freshman year, I lived in a dorm where one half the floor was boys, one half the floor was girls, and there was a common area in the middle, and we could not hang out past 2 a.m. In the common areas. What I'm trying to say is one time I did get head in that common area, and I got caught, and it was not good. My resident director was none too happy with me. He had me write an 800-word essay on my experience. You guys ever write It Was Awesome 267 times? Fuck yeah, all right. We do have a liquor license now, and that is an exciting thing. And you've all known me for a couple minutes, so I want you guys to start guessing right now what you think my credit score is. Go.
600. 850.
So nice. It's fucking terrible. It is not good. And I don't know if you know, a liquor license is a lot more expensive than a beer. So I applied for 6 different bank loans. All of them rejected me. The 7th one accepted me. So I'm about to get a tattoo across my chest that says PNC Bank, baby!